Alongside Enoch Mwamba, Jim Barker, and Milt Stiegel. And we are nearing the halfway point of the CFL season, which means we need to pick an MOP. And no surprise, right now in this race is led by two quarterbacks. Winnipeg Blue Bombers Zach Collaros, and on the flip side, the Argonauts Chad Kelly. Coach, who do you like for MOP right now?
Well, I would lean toward the two-time incumbent Zach Collaros. To me, the most important quality any pro football player can have is the ability to stay available. Availability. And Zach hasn't missed, he hasn't missed a thing through the last couple years, and that's why he's won. Against the BC Lions, didn't play real great the first game. He comes back in that set this last week and absolutely annihilated him. He made MOP throws.
Right.
Chad Kelly's done a great job. He's not hurt his team. They were undefeated up until this week. Now he's got a little bit of a nick. He can't finish the game. They don't win. Again, I'm going to take Zach Collaros.
Yeah, up until this past week's game, I had Chad Kelly. I had Chad Kelly over everyone. Even the way he played in touchdown Atlanta, he didn't play great. He didn't play bad, but he didn't play great. But as you mentioned, the way Zach played this past week against the BC Lions, it was basically him coming out and saying, I'm the man. You guys are talking about Chad Kelly, but you forgot about the two-time reigning MOP, and I plan on winning again. So it may change. Chad could win it. Somebody else, they could, get back in the picture or someone else could step in. But right now, it has to be Zach. It has to be.
I can see why both of you guys are going with Zach.
You going with your team, man?
No, I'm going to be fair. I can see why they're going with Zach. And a lot of guys that I actually hung out with this past offseason, with Zach being in the Toronto area, was thrown to a lot of receivers, and everybody really loved this ball. To be honest with you, I also caught a ball from him, if everybody remembers, last Grey Cup.
Yeah.
So I will.
Way to sneak that in, very subtle.
I will say he does throw a pretty good ball. But when you talk about the MOP at this very point of the season, I will go with my guy Chad Kelly. You talk about a guy who's growing in a way that, he's one of the best leaders that I've seen in my years, at least in the CFL. He is growing so fast. And to be honest, guys, I've seen a lot of guys come from the place that he's coming. I mean, he's a first-year guy, and the way that he dictates the offense, the way that he talks to the guys, his way of communicating with the guys, I absolutely love it, and I love his enthusiasm for the game, his passion for the game is really like none other.
What has he done over the last two games?
Not lost. He's lost one game. And to be honest with you, okay, we talked about availability, Coach.
Yes.
To me, I actually believe that winning also matters. So at the end of the season, when you look at the records, if you want to be called the MOP, you got to be on the team that wins the most games.
Especially if you're a quarterback.
Absolutely.
Other positions maybe, but especially if you're a quarterback. So you know what I'm looking forward to when these two teams meet. That will determine a lot. When these two teams meet, I think it's the end of September, if I'm correct. When they meet, that will determine a lot. But right now, if you're voting, you got to go with Zach. You have to go with
Beyond these two guys, though, let's get a little creative here. Who would be the next one in line? Who would be number 3 for you, Milts?
And I got a couple of names. I would throw out Willie Jefferson, maybe. I would throw out Dandridge. Unfortunately, he's on the IR. But what he's done on defense and special teams, and I'm going to throw out a wild card. The Eliminator, baby!
Oh, my goodness, two games in.
Put him in there.
If he continues to play every game like he did last night, I would agree with you.
He said he's going to still lead the league in sacks.
He's going to do some back-to-back games like last night.
There you go.
Sure.
Yeah.
There you go. I hear you on Willie Jefferson. He's having a great year. Matthew Batts, obviously leading the league in sacks, and if he can continue that pace, again, it's not very often that a defensive player wins the MOP, but there are a couple guys that are going to be considered.
I love Willie Jefferson. I love Matthew Betts. I love the fact that you guys actually picked some defensive guys, showing some love to the defensive players. You know who else I'll put in there? Along with those two guys on defense, I love Matthew Betts and the havoc that he's been wreaking for all the teams that he's playing against. I throw in Dustin Crum. If he keeps going in the way that he's been going right now, I like the kid, and I like the way that he's trending
He's
for
won
sure.
2 games.
That's a flyer.
The potential.
Man.
I see the potential.
Wow.
Sean Lemon is not so bad. You throwing him in there, huh?
I like Sean Lemon's chances better than Dustin.
Can't
Crump, and I
wait
think
to
Dustin
see
Crump
what the
is a decent player.
futures
I
are
like
on.
that we're talking about defense. Let's put it
Dustin
like that.
Holy
We
cow.
didn't even have a Dustin Crumb graphic ready to go. Well, we're going to find out, though, who will be MOP, Zach Collaros or Dustin Crumb?